The Invisible Man, Chapter 1, The Strange Man's Arrival, Page 2. His gloved hands were clasped behind him, and he seemed to be lost in thought. She noticed that the melting snow that still sprinkled his shoulders dripped upon her carpet. "Can I take your hat and coat, sir?" she said, "and give them a good dry in the kitchen?" "No," he said without turning. She was not sure she had heard him and was about to repeat her question. He turned his head and looked at her over his shoulder. "I prefer to keep them on," he said with emphasis, and she noticed that he wore big blue spectacles with side lights and had a bush side whisker over his coat collar that completely hid his cheeks and face. "Very well, sir," she said, "as you like. In a bit the room will be warmer." He made no answer and had turned his face away from her again, and Mrs. Hall, feeling that her conversational advances were ill-timed, laid the rest of the table things in a quick staccato and whisked out of the room. When she returned, he was still standing there like a man of stone, his back hunched, his collar turned up, his dripping head brim turned down, hiding his face and ears completely. She put down the eggs and bacon with considerable emphasis, and called rather than said to him, "Your lunch is served, sir." "Thank you," he said at the same time, and did not stir until she was closing the door. Then he swung round and approached the table with a certain eager quickness. As she went behind the bar to the kitchen, she heard a sound repeated at regular intervals: chirk, chirk, chirk. It went, the sound of spoon being rapidly whisked round a basin. "That girl," she said. "There, I clean forgot it. It's her being so long." And while she herself finished mixing the mustard, she gave Milly a few verbal stabs for her excessive slowness. She had cooked the ham and eggs, laid the table, and done everything, while Milly, help indeed, had only succeeded in delaying the mustard, and him a new guest and wanting to stay. Then she filled the mustard pot, and putting it with a certain stateliness upon a gold and black tea tray, carried it into the parlor. Sentence structure. His gloved hands were clasped behind him, and he seemed to be lost in thoughts. It's a compound sentence. It consists of two independent clauses as underlined, and is a conjunction which connects two independent clauses, highlighted as bold red. He turned his head and looked at her over his shoulder. It's a simple sentence. It consists of only one clause, as underlined. It has two verbs highlighted as bold red. As she went behind the bar to the kitchen, she heard a sound repeated at regular intervals. It's a complex sentence. It consists of two clauses as underlined. Independent clause, she heard a sound repeated at regular intervals. Dependent clause, as she went behind the bar to the kitchen. Pronunciation: clasped, staccato, sprinkled, dripped, turned, looked, emphasis, noticed, prefer, spectacles, approached, intervals, whisked, mustard, cooked. Thank you.